All right, we're back for part 2 of our descent into madness with Stephen King. Back with Senor Spielbergo, the honored guest from La La Land.
I'm not going to go ahead and say we might have to upgrade from The Guardian.
Yeah, we definitely got to replace the Guardian because he sucks. So he's being sniped as we speak.
Wonderful. He's going to come gunning for me.
Yeah, no, it's all right. He's going to be dead.
All right, cool.
But yeah, when you're a guest of honor
Stay
here,
tuned for that.
live. In fact, just cut away to that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're a guest of honor here with us, you get sandwiched in between two fat men. So congrats on that.
That's why I signed up for this thing.
Oh yeah, bring the grease. All right, we left off with The Shining, which was the big turning point for Stephen King. All of a sudden, he was super freaking rich and super freaking famous, and everybody wanted a piece of that King ass.
Piece of his shit, I was gonna say.
And yeah, it definitely wanted that. And King is a prolific writer, as we know nowadays. He releases multiple books per like second.
It's true.
And but back then, the industry standard was a book a year, and he wanted to test the waters a little. He wanted to release the stuff he had written and gotten rejected before. 2, he wanted to test whether his fame and success was just a stroke of luck. And 3, he wanted to release these babies. And I just off the cuff, if you ever find an old copy of the Bachman books, which is a collection of his first 4 books written as Richard Bachman, then get it, because Rage is no longer included in this collection. And if you ever find an old copy, get that. So let's get that out of the way. So what Stephen King did was he said, look, man, I want to publish more books in 1 year. His publisher said, no, we can't do that. And he said, well, what about you release them as somebody else? That way I can test if this is just a dumb stroke of luck that I'm famous, and I get more than 1 book out there. And they agreed to that. Not his publishing company, but a trade paperback company, a softcover company, and they started releasing his books under this pseudonym. And he got 4 out, and they did well enough, I guess, for somebody that nobody knew. So really, I guess he answered himself. It was part of he dropped in at the right time, at the right moment, at the right place. And he just is immensely talented that his career took off. But Bachman was struggling there. He was selling low numbers, 5-figure numbers. But then somebody found out that Bachman was king. They kind of noticed parallels in the writing, and they did a little research, found out that one of the books was attributed to King in the Library of Congress records, and all of a sudden he was out. By then, somewhere in here, Thinner had hit the newsstands. And it sold, I think, at 26,000 copies or something like that. Thinner did. Thinner's released on its own, by the way. You can't find it in the Bachman Books collection. But it sold 26,000. But when people found out King was Bachman, all of a sudden it went into the stratosphere. So the book contains Rage, The Long Walk, Roadwork, and The Running Man. One of these has been adapted into a movie, The Running Man, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Before we get to that, I'm going to point out that if you like The Hunger Games, then you should check out The Running Man or The Long Walk, which are far better versions of the same message, basically. My personal favorite is The Long Walk. I think it's one of his best novellas as King or Bachman. And it really was poignant, especially a few years ago with reality TV being a big thing. But it's still poignant in terms of our pop culture obsessed society, and it's a fantastic book. I'm not too big on The Running Man, although it's, I guess, a little bit closer to that, but I do like it, of course. I never read Roadwork, although King says it's his favorite Bachman book, so I'm a fool for that. And then, of course, Rage is basically a kid shooting up a school, so we know why he pulled that out. Yes. So if you're into Columbine. No, but that's the reason he took it off, because he noticed that a lot of these kids had ended up reading the book right before, and one even had it in his locker. So he ended up taking it out, which is good, I guess. Whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we can agree that kids shouldn't get shot. Yeah. But or maybe most kids.
That's a soft
The Shining kid, maybe.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But anyway, Any that dark anything to say on any of those?
What was the end of that sentence?
Kids getting shot, I guess. I don't know.
Kids, shoot them.
Should we talk about the movie?
Yes, the running man. Well, first, any impressions on the book, Spielbergo?
Well, he's right. I agree with you completely about the long walk. That's a brilliant. I've never read Rage. I want to read it though. I do. When I heard what it was about, I was like, oh, well,
yeah,
King's
it's actually
doing
pretty
that.
damn good.
I bet. Well, you need to read Roadwork because that is one of his. That's one of my favorites of his too. It's a very underrated, not oft read.
As I understand it, it's about a man that is losing his house, right?
Yeah, to like a freeway construction that's
Right.
going through,
And he is not gonna let it go. He's not.
exactly, and it gets pretty epic. The battle between him and the authorities.
That's I've really wanted to read it, but I never have. Which brings us to so far all of them recommended. Which brings us to The Running Man. Let's just go to the movie here.
Yeah.
What's up with this movie? Tell us.
Yeah, I mean,
Classic, some might say.
yeah, I haven't seen it in
Probably
a long
shouldn't be their
time.
friend if they say that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it was written by the writer of Die Hard, so that's cool.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's why I watched it. I think. Well, because I loved Donald Schwarzenegger when I was a kid, and it has Maria Conchita Alonso, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's pretty hot in it. So I mean, what's not hot is that.
That's his review.
Yeah, that's what I can say.
It's not
Well,
hot
it doesn't really bear more of a review.
Yeah,
I don't think it could have been cool. I mean, it should have been.
It should have been, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really cheeseball.
Yeah.
It's really colorful. It has a
I kind of want to watch this.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta watch it for Arnold Schwarzenegger's
Yeah.
tracksuit or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
it's like an astronaut's
It's
uniform.
become
or
kind of
something.
like a corny
milestone.
classic at this point. Yeah.
Exactly. You
Yeah,
could- you
basically,
could do worse.
prisoners are released and given an opportunity to reintegrate if they survive the Running Man, if I remember correctly, right? That's about it. But the movie's not a great adaptation. But yeah, if you want to chuckle a bit, or I guess if you think Maria Conchita Alonso's hot,
There you go.
there you go. But yeah, we're going to just cover all Bachman here, so that brings us to Thinner, which I actually quite enjoy. It's a throwback to kind of like Night of the Demon, and a lot of people don't like this book, actually. And I guess in comparison to his other stuff as King, it's not that good in comparison to that, but on its own, as what it is, which is an ode to that type of old school horror, I thought it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun.
It's fun. Yeah, there you go.
It's
That's
fun.
the best way to put it.
Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
couldn't write that story that good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty.
I even, and shoot me if you must on this, I even enjoyed the movie adaptation, although it was hokey.
Get my gun
It was
ready.
it was a bit corny. The effects are, clearly effects and all that stuff, but
Revisiting it, I liked it a lot more. Honestly, I was like, wow, I remember not liking it, and then I rewatched it again as a grown up, and I was like, this is not bad.
yeah,
mean,
I did the same. I revisited it and I was like, you know what? I like this a whole lot more than I originally thought, and it's fun.
And whenever
That's
you
the
bring
thing.
up Thinner, I can't help but think of the way it's said in the movie, just like
To the old lady.
yeah, that's pretty much exactly how it's said.
That is awesome. Okay, next we come to what many think is his ultimate work, his magnum opus, The Stand.
With a terrible cover.
Yeah, it's not a great cover. They took my hardcover. For
I
shame.
like the picture in the back, though, I gotta say.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like he's looking at us. You can't see it at home,
He's
but
judging this video.
yes, exactly.
He always has the best pictures of himself on his dust jackets and books.
That's true.
They're pretty awesome.
I wonder how many he goes through before he finds just the right look, because that's a specific look.
Yeah, that's the I'm gonna rape you with this book. As you can see, the book is pretty damned huge, and this is the uncut version. This actually caused a fracture between him and his publishers because he thought at this point I could publish anything, and now he can. But apparently back then, even they thought, yeah, that's not a good idea. Let's make this guy cut this book. So they made him cut 400 pages out of his manuscript.
That's
and,
a lot of pages.
That's a lot of pages, man.
A lot of sweat and blood.
And basically, the book deals with an apocalypse that has come upon us, and when you think apocalypse, you think big, but no, we go in a pretty weak ass way. Humanity is reduced to like what 99% of people die or some shit like that.
God, something like
a
that.
lot of
Yeah,
people
pretty
die,
much.
courtesy of a flu. But then shit gets weird. And somebody described this once as an epic of dark Christianity, and I think that is the perfect description of this, as basically the survivors contend to survive against an avatar, a satanic avatar, basically, in this character called Randall Flagg, the walking dude. And Randall Flagg, of course, is integral, as we will learn soon, to the Stephen King universe on a much bigger scale. But basically, it's the ultimate battle between good and evil after you think there would be no need for a battle between good and evil. And it is epic in every proportion, and in every way. And it's safe to say I love it since I'm jizzing over it. What do you think, Spielbergo?
I agree with you 100%. And when I was thinking just in the larger form about what the ultimate stories about good and evil, I'm glad you said it, because I think Stephen King wrote the two ultimate stories of good versus evil. We'll talk about the other one later. This is one of them.
Yes.
And to me, and I can't decide which one is worse, like in terms of like the threat. It's like literally, I can't think of a worse battle between good and evil than what happens in this book. It's stripped down completely. Humanity is the good left over, the bad left over, in very in ways that you can really identify with. And yeah, they deal with the ultimate threat. Like it blows me away. Like the novel's a masterpiece. It's high up there for me. Like I said, it's not second or third for me in terms of favorites, but I can see why people think it is.
Yes, absolutely. And we can, I think, now turn to the TV adaptation, which, shocker, I mean, considering the size of this thing and the amount of characters, the amount of events, the scope, etc., a TV miniseries that captured all that, succinctly captured all that. I mean, it's one of the best adaptations of King work I've seen. He did the screenplay, and Mick Garris, who did the Shining TV series, was responsible for bringing it to life. Now, here's the thing about Mick Garris. I think he's not a bad director. I think he's a mediocre director, and he's good enough. Let's say that. But I think most times he chomps off more than he can chew, and especially in terms of budget. Oddly enough, with a few exceptions, in The Stand, everything works. Even when the effects are not particularly great, it doesn't. The Golden City.
Stinker.
There are some.
The morph effects are not. Yeah. But even when that's there, you don't care because the story is so well structured. By the time these big effects come in, and not all of them are sucky, just a few. But by the time they come in, you throw that out the window, even if you're that picky about stuff. I'm not picky about effects, but even if you are, you don't care because he has done what Stephen King has done. Well, really, you could say Stephen King because he wrote the screenplay. But he did right by keeping loyal to that screenplay, and he brought these characters to life to the point where you're so invested in the events, their lives, etc., that you don't even care if at the next moment Mickey Mouse wheels out, on a unicycle, because it's that good.
Effects, to be fair.
Some of the effects were tragic.
Well, there's a Mickey Mouse-esque character in the fake commercial in the movie. There's the dancing flu bottle.
Oh yeah,
Is it Ricky Rouse?
I wish it was, or Ronald Muck more, but no, it's Flu Buddy is
Flu
the
Buddy.
guy. Yeah. And that was where I was like, but that's a small complaint.
I saw this long time ago, but I remember liking it.
It's
I remember
wonderful.
those dudes with big ass suits. That's what I remember.
The containment suits were terrible.
Oh, that's right. Oh
Massive
my god.
suits.
Yeah. No, it's worth a revisit if you haven't seen it. It plays periodically on weird stations.
Yeah,
I have it actually.
Come by and see.
Yeah, guys,
everyone, you're all invited. I
There's
think
only like 3 people watching.
Okay. No, I really think it deserves. I think it's gonna make another impression when it finally gets an upgraded transfer, because it was apparently shot on 16mm, and you really can't tell. Wow. Yeah, you really can't tell.
It looks like a TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think once you see it that way, it's gonna look a lot better. I wouldn't be surprised if it looks as good as the new Salem's Lot Blu-ray. I haven't heard anything about that happening. I hope it does. So, yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for that, but we'll see.
So there you go, folks. The Stand. Everybody loves it. Both movie or TV series version and this. Check them out. And next, we have a collection called Night Shift, which had a couple of stories in it. I like to call this his EC Comics collection, because it really feels like the stories that would come out in an EC Comics anthology or something. They're more bent towards the horror and the weird and stuff like that than his later collections. But it's notable to say that 2 stories are in here: Jerusalem's Lot, which formed the basis for Salem's Lot and had been previously published, and Night Surf, which formed the basis for the really small basis for The Stand. But it is a really cool collection. It also had the stories for Graveyard Shift, which was a movie. That's all I remember. Yeah.
All you can say.
Yeah, I guess if you like rats, that's a movie to check out.
I'm a big rat fan, though.
And mutant bat
and
creatures.
mutant
This
bats.
sounds like the greatest film.
It's
does.
not only rats. It has more than jizz-worthy material for the rat lover.
Yeah, if you're
It
into
expands.
rats.
You like Willard.
Yeah. Then this movie is for you.
The Mangler, it has the Mangler in there, which was Toby Hooper.
Amen, God damn it. That's all I remember.
Now, the Mangler's a really short story, and they expanded it into like a 2-hour movie. And it's not a good movie, don't get me wrong.
fun,
It's basically about a sentient, demonically possessed...
Amen, God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
All I remember is
sheep
Ted
presser.
Levine's garbled attempt at a language. Like, it was between Silence of the Lambs and other projects where he would get a handle on whatever
And
magic voice. Yeah, exactly. And there it's just like, yeah, but he's a great character regardless. He's nuts in that movie.
Yeah, there's something about the movie that I just love. I can't... It is B grade, and he's definitely one of the big reasons I love the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And his friend too, with the shaggy-haired priest.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. If you can swallow the schlock, then check it out. It's fun.
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund, yeah, and it's pretty damn gory too.
It has like
I'll
50
say that.
sequels.
It does for some reason.
I haven't seen any of
So
them.
only see the Toby Hooper one.
Yeah.
The sequels are terrible.
Okay.
Amen, God damn it.
Night Shift also has Trucks, which Trucks was adapted into a movie too.
Probably
and it
the
is
greatest film
the
ever.
greatest film of all time.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah. Trucks was adapted into the masterpiece that is Maximum Overdrive, which coincidentally is the only movie Stephen King ever directed. And it's just worthy to say that he claims that he only directed it because, 1, he was high as fuck on cocaine, and 2, it was his chance to work with AC/DC, which, they pretty much compromised the soundtrack in this. I don't understand why he had to work with them because it's just old tracks.
Yeah,
Right?
he just...
Did he just bring them in and they like re-recorded the stuff?
I know he
Did
listens
Coke-
to like metal and stuff when he's writing a lot of the time, so he just liked them, I guess, and he was like, I'm gonna score a horror movie with AC/DC. No one else, Kubrick ain't gonna do that shit for my...
Kubrick the hack would never do that. As he snorts.
So yeah, I mean, you see the movie and you could see the effect of.
I gotta say, it's the best movie with a villain truck that looks like Green Goblin.
Jesus.
It is the best movie.
Yeah, as far as movies with Green Goblin trucks go,
Why
that's the
isn't there
one.
a Mattel edition of that truck?
Yeah, no
I would
shit.
buy that
Wanted
shit like Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's also weird to see Lisa Simpson in Sexual
Yeah,
Situations.
no shit.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, if you can call it sexual, the talk about
Yeah, what is
watching
that?
No, it
kissing or
has. I think
something.
it has the greatest scene of all time, in which you know the one.
I'm in suspense,
The
man.
guy
They have so
that,
many.
Get some soda pops and hits him in the nuts. He dies.
That is, the machines are coming to life in this, and a guy just
Told you what it's about.
wants to get a damn soda
a
pop.
soda pop.
And no, he gets his nuts blown out by a can,
It's
basically.
pretty great, and then it keeps batting him after he's on the ground.
And the little league team he's coaching or whatever just laughs, which is what I think.
That is the proper response for
Yes,
it.
absolutely. And then it's
While
followed by
AC/DC plays in the background.
yes, this is, and I love the steamroller kid. What other movie steamrolls a kid to death? Like
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, so it's a wild movie, that's for sure. You won't see anything like that
Apparently there's
anymore.
an X-rated version.
Yes,
Oh my God.
this is interesting. There is an X-rated version, and Stephen King has the only copy of it, and he refuses to release it. Which, what's wrong with you, man? Release that thing.
I know we know you're watching
The
this.
shit one's
Yeah.
out right now. Like,
Yeah,
put the
we already
interesting-
know it's shitty.
Yeah.
Might as well make it super shitty and funner.
I wonder if it has like 4 other versions of the nut kick.
And one of the
Alternate takes.
one of the versions is called for DVD release probably the "We Made You" edition. I bet you because it's a famous line from the movie. I can't do the line reading justice. You have to watch the movie to see this line reading.
So we jizzed over Trucks. That's weird. And Maximum Overdrive.
There's another adaptation of it called Trucks that was on USA.
Was that any good? No?
I don't remember it.
It didn't have nuts.
So automatically.
No nut scene. No sale. Night Shift also has Sometimes They Come Back, which is, I gotta say, man, it's a pretty cool adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, of the story. Basically, it's some guy returns back home and is being chased by these greaser ghosts who decide they're gonna sacrifice him so they could stay out of hell. And it's a wild premise. But it was actually a pretty cool little adaptation.
Yeah, no, and you can tell from that, he really writes those evil greaser guys really well. Like, when you watch the adaptation, those scenes they come off very much like Kiefer Sutherland in Stand By Me.
Yeah,
like, it's like,
really.
the Stephen King, like, greaser villain is taken right out of there.
It's
like
a...
it's definitely a
greaser villain.
Yeah. And Tim Matheson is the star, I think. He's
yeah.
good. And I think the head greaser is... the guy Robert Russler from like Vamp and Freddy 2, and he's in some Weird Science. He's in
80s guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's a cool.
Yeah, that was a surprisingly cool little adaptation of a short story.
There were sequels. I didn't see.
There were sequels
or one sequel.
No, there was like several. Sometimes they come back again,
and again.
They just added again.
Yeah, that's easy. Some guy made some bucks adding that to the poster.
That movie was originally going to be adapted into, was going to be one of 3 short films in the anthology Cat's Eye, which has 2 other stories that are in Night Shift, and that's The Ledge and Quitters Incorporated. But it ended up being a movie of its own. The 3rd movie in Cat's Eye was written specifically for the screen by King. And Cat's Eye, what do you think, man? It's been a while since I've seen it. I remember loving it.
Oh, you've got to revisit it, man. Okay, like, we haven't talked about it yet, but it's directed by the director of another King adaptation, another good King adaptation, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, it's really good. It's been a while since I've read the actual short stories, The Quitters Incorporated and The Ledge, but those are the 2 best parts of that movie. Yeah. And especially Quitters Incorporated is the one that I latched onto. It has a great performance by James Woods.
James Woods?
Yeah, he's the star, and the lead mafia villain. It's about, a mafia outfit basically turning their talents at persuading people to a business where they try to get you to quit smoking and use mafia tactics on you. And it's wonderful. I mean, yeah, the dialogue's great. It's got great suspense. The Ledge is really cool. It's because the guy, like, it's about a guy who is like he's a rich guy in Atlantic City, I think, and his wife is being romanced by this like tennis player or whatever, and they want to take off. And then the guy, like, kidnaps the wife and makes this guy, the boyfriend, circle the ledge of the building he owns. Yeah. And the guy, perpetrating the wager, as he calls it in the movie, is, like, a really slimy, great guy. He plays the sheriff, actually, in the Salem's Lot adaptation. He's really good. That's highly recommended. It's so much fun. If you want to talk fun, that's as fun, honestly, as another King movie we'll talk about later, King affiliate movie, Creepshow. His anthology shit is just fun.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun.
Amazingly fun, yeah. Yeah. Wholeheartedly agree with that.
Have you seen it recently? Oh, you should, man. It's so good.
Yeah, I got to show you because I got to revisit it because I do remember loving it.
Great looking Blu-ray. Yeah.
Another story in Night Shift is Children of the Corn, which has spawned a gazillion remakes and sequels and crap.
I wasn't fond of that one.
Boosted corn sales.
Yeah,
boosted corn sales made the Amish look creepy.
It's true.
The first adaptation of the story was fine enough, I guess. It's not. I don't consider it a classic. I don't consider it great.
I heard it was awful. I've never seen it.
I remember I saw it. I remember you showed it to me, and I was like, that was a thing.
Yeah. And the weird thing is the right before the credits, everything that happens before the credits, that's the story. They adapted the story before the credits.
Oh shit.
And the rest just kind of goes off on its own. And
the beginning credits?
Yeah. And you're kind of like, all right, whatever. I didn't. For some reason, it has a large cult following.
Yeah. It's a good idea coming from someone who hasn't seen the movie.
Yes, it is a good idea, but it's just I never. And then the sequels just got fucking worse. Yeah. And then that remake was terrible. So I guess if you like it, you like it because apparently people love it. If you like corn, check that out.
You probably don't like kids, so
yeah. We do. We're behind killing kids. We've established that. So also in Night Shift is Lawnmower Man, which spawned a name-only adaptation.
Yeah.
And there was litigation over that. Stephen King said, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Take my name off of that crap. And that movie, don't watch it. It's not a Stephen King adaptation at all. And it's not even a good movie, if I remember correctly.
No.
I remember it pissing me off.
If I remember correctly, there's also a Super Nintendo video game of that.
That's
Oh my God.
If I remember, I may be wrong.
No, you're probably right, and I wonder how well it did because
Bad is the answer.
Yeah. If you don't hear about it anymore, I gotta say that short story even though is like he must have been high when he wrote that story. I don't know how you come up with that idea. It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's cool, but it's like I did not expect this. That's for sure.
Another story in there that's been adapted is Battleground, which was part of the Nightmares and Dreamscapes anthology on TNT. I have not seen any of that, but basically about some toy soldiers kicking some ass. That's an evil Toy Story. Let's go with that. Yeah, so some dude is contract hired to kill toy maker, I believe, and after he kills him, these sentient I forget the exact mechanics of it.
I don't remember it either, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
if that's not the story, that's a good one anyway.
But I haven't seen that, so whatever. Check that out, and we're going next to.
I gotta stop it.
And stay tuned for the next part.
One.
See you next time.
It's for your sakes.
Okay.